Acknowledgement. The land that Eureka rests on is known in the Wiyot language as Jirojiji. Past actions by local, state, and federal governments removed the Wiyot and other indigenous peoples from the land and threatened to destroy their cultural practices. The city of Eureka acknowledged the Wiyot community, their elders, both past and present, as well as future generations. This acknowledgement demonstrates the city's commitment to dismantle the ongoing legacies of settler colonialism. And with that, could we have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Castellano.
Here.
Councilmember Moulton.
Here.
Councilmember Fernandez.
Here.
Councilmember Bauer.
Here.
Councilmember Contreras-Deloche.
Here.
And Mayor Burgell.
Here. And would all who care to join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. And City Attorney Black, is there a report out of closed session?
Mayor, no final actions were taken in closed session.
Great. So this moves us to mayor's announcements, and we have a proclamation for Kiwanis if you'd like to come forward, and Councilmember Fernandez will be reading that for you.
City of Eureka Proclamation, 75th. City of Eureka Proclamation, 75th Anniversary, Kiwanis Club of Henderson Center. Whereas Kiwanis International was founded in 1915 with its mission to focus specifically on service to children, and whereas the Kiwanis Club of Henderson Center was founded on October 2nd, 1950, to further spread the mission of Kiwanis International and is now celebrating its 75th anniversary. And whereas Kiwanis strives to achieve a mission where all children can wake up in communities that believe in them, nurture them, and provide support they need to thrive, and whereas each year, the Kiwanis family devotes more than 7.1 million hours to service. On average, a single Kiwanian will impact the lives of 98 children. And whereas the Kiwanis Club of Henderson Center has made valuable contributions to the improvement of the city of Eureka's facilities, including Carson Park, Sequoia Zoo, and Barnyard, city cleanup days, Keep Eureka Beautiful tree planting, and whereas the Kiwanis Club of Henderson Center has provided exceptional service for 75 years, and will celebrate its 75th Kiwanis anniversary year from October 1st, 2025 through September 30th, 2026 with special events and community service. Now I, therefore, on behalf of Mayor Burgell and the Eureka City Council, do hereby proclaim October 2nd, 2025 to be designated as Kiwanis Day in recognition of the 75th anniversary of the Kiwanis Club of Henderson Center, and as the city's genuine appreciation for dedicated service and improvements performed in our local community during those 75 years.
A cute picture. Mario, look cute. Look cute, Mario. It's all Would you like to say a few words? We'd love to hear from you.
Come on, John.
There. John Friedenbaum, the current secretary of the Kiwanis Club of Henderson Center. We have Ray Gerlund, past president, Mike Giacone, past president. Ray's been a member of our club for 53 years. Mike's been a member of our club for 33 years. I've been a member of the club for 39 years. So in total, thank you. In total, we surpassed the 75 years, but none of us have been in the club for 75. So appreciate the acknowledgement from the city. As you know, we're partnering with the city on rehabbing the playground at Carson Park, and that is our 75th anniversary service project to the community. So looking forward to getting that project done during this next year, and have had great cooperation with city staff on that so far. So looking forward to that.
That's
Thank you.
wonderful. So can I ask you a quick question about that? So my understanding is that you are doing some fundraising for that project. How would people donate to that project if they were to feel so inclined?
We have a Facebook page that you can go to Henderson Center Kiwanis. There's a QR code there. You have flyers out here on the table. There's a QR code there. We were at the Dayas grand opening with the table, and so we'll be tabling events and things like that. So there's lots of ways. There's also a PSA, public service announcement, that I've been hearing on the radio, that you can, there's a phone number and then also an email address that's being announced for that. So
Great.
yeah, lots of ways. And we'll accept cash too.
Great. Well, thank you so much for being here this evening. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay. And this will move us to presentations. A Visit California Tourism and Recreation Commission Annual Report with Program Coordinator Green. Hi, welcome.
Hi, good evening, Mayor and Council. Thank you for having us. Ooh, yeah. My name is Madison, and I am the newest member of the Economic Development team. I am over at the Welcome Center. You may have seen me around outside of there. Today, we're going to be talking about the Welcome Center designation, our first anniversary, the foot traffic, as well as industry night that's happening this Thursday. So, this is our first anniversary as a California Welcome Center. We are the 22nd Welcome Center in California, with Half Moon Bay being the most recent this summer. We also have our Visit Eureka website that is officially up and going, so it's a nice little conjunction with our 1-year anniversary. Our operations were open 7 days a week and from 10 to 5 and closed on major holidays. We have about 7 part-time temporary concierges in a public restroom. So we are the hub for Old Town for events such as Friday Night Market, most recently Farmers Market, and the Coast Guard Welcome Night. Okay. This is my favorite slide because it goes over numbers. If you will see, draw your attention, we've had almost over 3,700 visitors come through this year in comparison to last year, which is about a foot traffic growth of 29%. We are on projection for having about 5,000 more visitors this year, which is great. It shows us that we have tourists and visitors coming through the Welcome Center. It also speaks to the efficacy of being a California Welcome Center designation. One thing that's also new this year is we have our local artists developing Eureka-centric materials such as hoodies, t-shirts, stickers. That's been a big hit locally, and it's been great. We also sell California merchandise, which is required by Visit California, and that has more than tripled our retail sales by about 228% this year. All right, Industry Night. So that is this Thursday. You may have seen an invitation for that. If you haven't, just let us know and we'll go ahead and make sure we get that to you. So Visit California reached out to us, our friends over there, and asked if we could have a industry night, and we said that would be great. It'd be awesome. We'd love to host you here. So they're going to do a short presentation on the resources that they have for tourism. And what we did is we went ahead and invited our local industry partners, such as hotels, lodging alliances, and other visitor centers in the area. We're going to have light snacks and beverages, and then we're also going to take people to the Dick Taylor Craft Chocolate, get a free cookie, hop aboard the Mattakit ride, and just show them some great things that Eureka has to offer. Any questions or comments?
And Councilmember Castellano?
I know I have the invitation, but what time is that industry night? And for the public, is it open to anyone can come, or is it invitation only?
It is from 4 to 6 p.m. and it is invitation only. We have a QR code that we can easily send you. So if you know somebody that you feel like would be a good fit, we could definitely send over that invitation for you to forward to them.
Thank you so much.
Great. Thanks.
Nice to hear about the foot traffic. Okay, and this moves us to board and commissions reports. And we have Board Member Mays here to report on Open Space Parks and Recreation Annual Report. Welcome.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, and City staff. Thank you for the opportunity to highlight the work of the Open Space Parks and Recreation Commission. My name is Carol Mays, and I'm the Commission Chair, and tonight I'll be presenting the Commission's annual report. The Open Space Parks and Recreation Commission consists of 7 commissioners. This commission serves in an advisory capacity by making recommendations to City Council and City staff. Community Services manages many parks, open spaces, facilities, and programs. To start off, we have numerous successful Empower Eureka volunteer programs. The Sequoia Park Ivy League is a group of dedicated volunteers that work throughout Sequoia Park to remove invasive ivy, which is harmful to redwood trees. The Myrtle Grove Cemetery Volunteer Group assists with the upkeep of this historic cemetery. Started over 10 years ago by genealogist Kirby Nunn, these volunteers clean, repair, and search for buried headstones and grave markers and assist with general maintenance. The Volunteer Trail Stewards, a program of the Humboldt Trails Council, work to help city staff maintain the Eureka Waterfront Trail. This includes invasive plant removal, planting native plants, trimming vegetation, and trash removal. On the first Saturday of every even-numbered month is the Eureka Trash Bash. In partnership with Pack Out Green Team and STIL, this 90-minute cleanup removes trash from public green spaces in Eureka. Volunteers are treated to a bagel breakfast courtesy of Los Bagels to fuel up before they clean up. Old Town Beautification Volunteer Work Days take place on the first Saturday of every odd number month. These events focus on landscaped areas and planter boxes. Volunteers can be seen weeding, replacing weed matting, adding mulch, and planting native plants. 2025 marks the 4th annual September Volunteer Month. Each Saturday in September is devoted to a different volunteer activity. The month concludes with a free barbecue and recognition for volunteers. Special thanks to Pearson Building Center for providing the grand prize and for their support of Volunteer Month. Moving from volunteers onto park improvements, there have been exciting improvements to city parks over the last year. Highland Park received new ADA restrooms and a concession building. The outdoor sports courts were resurfaced with lines for both tennis and pickleball. Walkways throughout the park were improved. New play equipment was added along with a hydration station. A grand reopening event was held on August 9th to celebrate these exciting changes. Perhaps the most anticipated park project, Da Yas Park, formerly known as 2030 Park, received a complete renovation thanks to a $6.3 million grant from California State Parks and Prop 68. This amazing project includes ADA restrooms, inclusive playground with surfacing, custom egret play structure with ADA accessibility, swings, rockers and spinners, outdoor fitness equipment, parkour course, solar park lighting, irrigation and landscaping with native plant palette, multi-sports court for basketball, roller hockey, and futsal, as well as picnic tables and barbecues. Jacob Haney Ball Field received new ball field bleachers, signage, entryways, and remodeled dugouts. A grand opening celebration was held on September 13th, which included a ribbon cutting, community mural, free ice cream, and more. Here you can see pictures of one of the picnic areas and barbecue, the parkour course, crab slide, and outdoor fitness equipment. Here's a few pictures from the grand opening of the park. The playground at Sequoia Park received new play equipment. Staff was able to add 3 spinners, a rocker, and a seesaw. This equipment provides much needed play experiences until funding for playground renovations is secured. Our city parks host many events throughout the year, from annual events like Easter, Halloween, and Get Out and Play Day. There are a lot of upcoming projects in community services. One of the most essential is the dredging of city facilities. Dredging is an important part of bay maintenance as it removes silt and sediment buildup that can make areas of the bay difficult to navigate for the variety of maritime vessels that use it, such as commercial fishing boats, recreation sailboats, or visiting mariners. Staff have already begun the lengthy process to have dredging take place next year. There are a number of upcoming parks projects. One of them is the Carson Park Playground Project. And of course, we just heard that the Kiwanis Club of Henderson Center has chosen Carson Park's Playground as their club's 75th anniversary service project. This project will be a volunteer build with fundraising already underway. A new playground will be coming to Carson Park next year. The next park project is Grace Martin Memorial Park and Playground along the waterfront near the Adorney Center. Construction will begin next year and is made possible by a donation from community members Lance Hardy and Grace Martin. They enjoyed spending time on the waterfront and wanted to provide a park for the community. The park will have a maritime theme and feature a custom schooner built by Eric Hollenbeck of Blue Ox Millworks. It will also include realignment and repaving of the adjacent section of the waterfront trail. Sequoia Park continues to receive improvements. Starting with public input resulting in a master plan for the Upper Meadow, Phase 1 has been completed, and a community fundraiser is in the works to complete the next phase, the Treehouse Adventure Playground. There is a Sequoia Park Playground Improvement Fund at Humboldt Area Foundation for those that would like to contribute. Please visit ilovesequoiapark.com. Now, Cooper Gulch Park will be getting a new hydration station. This park improvement was a project submitted by a community member for Ward 4 funding of the 2024 participatory budget cycle. This small addition will have a big impact by making water more accessible by being closer to the highly used skate park. Larger park improvements are still pending funding. Lastly, Community Services has also been working with Humboldt Asian and Pacific Islanders on a Chinatown monument for Old Town. This monument will honor residents of the former Eureka Chinatown, remember the Chinese expulsion and banishment for 70 years, and celebrate the growth of a diverse, vibrant community. Located at First and E Streets, it will consist of public art, education, and poetry. Poetry. Sequoia Park Zoo has seen some exciting changes and improvements recently. With a new philanthropic partnership with Humboldt Area Foundation and Wild Rivers Community Foundation. The renovation of the Red Panda exhibit is nearing completion. Upgrades were made to the electrical infrastructure in certain areas of the zoo to support zoo lights and other zoo events and rentals. I love this picture. Here's a look at some of the new family members that the zoo has welcomed recently. Animal care staff have enjoyed getting to know these new animals and their unique personalities. In addition to caring for animals, zoo staff have also been hard at work to provide the community with fun annual events such as Boo at the Zoo, Conservation Lecture Series, Party for the Planet, California Biodiversity Day, and Firefighter Appreciation Month. New event additions include Forest Fest and the popular Zoo Lights. This year marks the first Oktoberfest at the Sequoia Park Zoo on October 11th from 4 to 7 p.m. This 21 and over event is presented by Humboldt Cider Company, who is creating a special blackberry cider just for the event. Tickets are available online. Let's celebrate Bears and Brews at the zoo this October. Visit redwoodzoo.org for more information. And the zoo had another successful year. In fiscal year 24-25, the zoo welcomed over 172,800 visitors and generated over $2.7 million in revenue. Zoo staff achieved all of this while taking care of over 150 animals across 50 different species, hosting community events, and providing educational opportunities. We're so proud of all of the zoo staff for their success, hard work, and dedication to providing the best for the animals in their care. Now, moving over to the Recreation Division, they have found community favorites in their toddler sports classes: Biddy basketball, toddler soccer, and tiny t-ball. Other successful recreation programs include summer day camps, women's volleyball league, my personal favorite line dancing classes, break camps, and Little Saplings preschool. In an effort to better serve the community, the Recreation Division launched a community survey. The goal was to gain a better idea of the types of recreation activities that people would like to see offered, the areas of interest, activity age range, and activity location. The survey was offered online and on paper in both English and Spanish, with 1,000 responses received. Recreation staff have been reviewing survey results to provide recreation opportunities that meet the community's needs and interests. Lastly, we'd like to invite the community to connect with us and attend one of our meetings. The Open Space, Parks, and Recreation Commission meets on the fourth Thursday of every month at 6 p.m. here in Council Chambers. And that concludes our annual report. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Carol. Do we have any questions for Carol? Councilmember Moulton?
Thank you, Mayor. And thank you so much for that report. It's wonderful to see all of those things, put together and highlighted in one achievement reel.
I want to thank city staff for doing the presentation.
Okay. Yeah. Thank them for for the slideshow. Thank you for presenting it. And shout out to the new porcupine at the zoo, Ozzy, the Prince of Sharpness. My favorite new addition. I was curious. I could look it up, but I was wondering: is the Open Space, Parks, and Recreation Commission? I know you were looking for new members this summer. Are you up to full now,
Yes.
or do you still need new people? You're up to full.
It's my understanding that we just filled the last slot.
Wonderful. Thank you, and thanks to the folks who are coming out to do that work. It's really important. Appreciate it.
It's fun, a lot of fun. Any other questions?
Councilmember Fernandez?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the thorough report there, and for staff helping with it. I was curious when you were talking about the volunteer opportunities, if there are any programs that prove to be more popular, or if it's just kind of dependent on the time of year.
I'm going to defer to our leader here, Donna.
Luckily, they're all popular. We have had great turnout for all the various opportunities. The Ivy League is a real hit. I think that one has got a ton of folks, and they're committed and return weekend after weekend. And so all good on the volunteer front. We're doing really good. We have a lot of great committed community members.
Thank you.
Councilmember Bauer?
Now, Carol, I just want to thank you as well for volunteering your time for the commission, and all the members of it for taking the time to be a part of the city, and making sure that we have these great things going on in our parks. So thank you so much.
Oh, I'm enjoying the experience. I really am.
Great.
Well, thank you. We can tell just by looking at you that you're very excited, and that brings me a lot of joy. And thanks for highlighting all those projects. It's so wonderful, like I heard earlier, to see them all together like that. It's incredible. All right. So with that, we will move on to public comment. This is the time for members of the public who wish to be heard on matters that do not appear on the agenda. City Council policy is to limit each speaker to 3 minutes. Such time allotment or portion thereof shall not be transferred to other speakers. And pursuant to the Brown Act, the City Council may not take action on an item that does not appear on the agenda. Is there anyone in the audience that's here to speak on non-agenda item? Welcome, Mr. Wilson.
My name is Charles Wilson. This is Constitution Week. We have 3 documents which created our country and protect us people. Each begins with an explanation of what is following it, what the following is about, and why it was required. Our Declaration of Independence has 2 opening paragraphs. The first paragraph begins with, when in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for our people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them to another. The second paragraph begins with, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. Our Constitution has 1 opening paragraph which begins with, we the people of the United States, in order to, and then goes on. Our Bill of Rights has opening paragraphs titled Preamble. Now, the transcript of our Bill of Rights is shown on the federal government's archives.gov website, and it's incomplete and inaccurate. In reference to the joint resolution that added the Bill of Rights, the feds state that the spelling and punctuation reflect the original. Sounds very, they're trying to do the best job. When the feds give the so-called transcription for the Bill of Rights, however, it has edited to delete a critical portion of our rights, that is the preamble. The preamble states that the clauses were added to our Constitution in order to prevent the misconstruction or abuse of its powers. It does not state that these clauses were changes of our Constitution. We had only given specific restricted powers to our new government to protect us. These 10 articles did not change the Constitution. The things were already in the Constitution. We didn't give away everything. And they were only added, as the preamble says, to extend the ground of public confidence in the government by preventing government politicians, such as you guys, from becoming like dictator King George and misconstructing our Constitution. I suggest that Eureka request that the original Bill of Rights document be accurately shown and that the Fed's website transcript be corrected. And you can look it up yourself and see what it says. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello.
Hello. Thank you. Good evening, council members, mayor. Thanks for having me. I have a message. Part of it's mine and part of it's from the Lord. September 10th in Utah, we lost a dear brother of ours, Charlie Kirk. He spoke about several topics from a Christian perspective. He ruffled people's feathers, all kinds of people, with what he said. I am a Christian. I am not afraid to say it. I will stand for truth, whatever it costs me. Speaking of the cost, did I mention it cost him his life to speak what was true? The Bible says, precious in the sight of the Lord is the death of his faithful servants. How precious the soul we lost. Oh, how precious was his soul. To the LGBTQ plus community, we love you. That does not mean we agree with your behavior. I died for each and every one of you, and if it were just you here on earth, I would have done it for you, even if you never accepted me, says the Lord. I love you, and if dying for you is not enough, then what is? My son died for you on the cross at Calvary, and now another son of mine has died standing for what is right, and many more will follow. I have drawn a line of truth, and I am here to help. Either join me or join the god of this world, the devil. Can't you see the devil instigated both my son's death? I am the Lord, I have spoken. Thank you.
Good evening.
Thank you for allowing us to be here tonight. My name is Misty. I've written a poem for the same thing in memory of Charlie Kirk, who was only 31 years old, which is only 4 years older than my oldest child, who was shot in cold blood while exercising his constitutional right to speak about his personal and religious beliefs in a public venue, the Utah Valley University, on September 10, 2025, leaving behind his wife and daughters, aged 3 and 1. What if it was you instead? This is my poem. As you sit there in your council seats, and somebody that simply disagreed with what you said put a bullet in your neck, I'm sure as you were bleeding out, you'd be the first one calling out to a God you don't think exists. I'm not telling you this to get you all scared, but I don't think you are prepared for anything that is ahead. The Bible says it's going to get so bad that you're going to wish you were dead. So if you aren't afraid of that, go ahead, place your bet, because the odds are 50-50. But remember, if we win this round, we go up and you go down. Unless you turn this thing around, repent and believe in Jesus Christ, Yeshua the Messiah. He is the only way. He is the only truth. He is the only path to eternal life. With all due respect, I give you my word.
Good evening, Allison. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Good evening, Mayor and Council. Allison Talbot. I am your, hey, Pam. Your PG&E Government Relations Representative. I serve as a liaison between the city and the company, PG&E. And I wanted to reintroduce myself to you in case you ever have any local or regional needs related to PG&E. I'm here to assist in any way that I can. As it happens, I feel very fortunate to have a strong working relationship with city staff. They're wonderful to work with, and there's a great deal of experience. And I think it's why I don't hear from you guys very much. But I did want to let you know I'm here if you need me. The city manager can give you my cell phone at any time, or a number of you have it, I realize. So if you need any assistance, please don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you for having me.
Is there anyone else in the audience that's here to speak at public comment, non-agenda items? We think not. Okay. Do you see anybody on Zoom?
Will?
Mayor and Council, I am a victim of domestic abuse. In late 2022, my partner of 10 years and I began a polyamorous relationship with a third person who eventually became emotionally manipulative, verbally abusive, and on multiple occasions, physically abusive to me. To make a very long story short, after 2 years of hell, I finally gathered the courage to end my relationship with my abuser. After the breakup, the three of us met in person to delete all explicit media of each other. My long-term partner did not yet know about the physical abuse, and he desired to maintain a friendship with this person. This person, however, decided to describe me as a misogynist for quote-unquote abandoning them, described us as anti-Semites for not speaking out in opposition to the city's ceasefire resolution, and insulted my partner for not being out to his hyper-religious extended family. They then gave him a choice: leave me or end their friendship. The choice was obvious. Several months after we stopped all contact with them, my abuser reached out to EPD, claiming that my partner had taken explicit photos of them without their consent. We assumed that they were hoping that some photos were missed in the mutual deleting, so that they could falsely claim that they were taken without consent. When EPD found nothing, this person decided to bring their fake concerns to council. My abuser decided to publicly lie about what the police had found, claiming that explicit images of them were present. My abuser has gone on to make public comment at the last several council meetings, claiming that my partner, through his job with the city, has some sort of godlike powers over all technology within city limits. The absurd implication being that he somehow has the power to spy on everyone through their home webcams. They have also bizarrely claimed that the city is protecting my same-sex partner because of straight male privilege. I apologize for this continued waste of your time on what is a private matter between 3 consenting adults. Though there is so much more I want to say that won't fit within 3 minutes, I offer this comment because my partner is unable to defend himself here because of his job duties. The last few months have been some of the hardest of our lives, but it has only brought the two of us closer together, which is one of the reasons why, on August 16th, I asked him to marry me. He said yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Do you see anyone else?
J. Doe. J. Doe, you cannot unmute.
Good evening. Yes, the previous speaker invited me to his home to delete explicit media in front of them, and that is what happened. But I did not file a police report for retaining explicit media because that is not against the law. What is against the law is filming someone against their consent when they specifically never consented to be filmed in an explicit context with their face visible and their tattoos visible and in the context of their recognizable home. And his boyfriend disregarded that and just filmed me however he pleased. And that is what is against the law. That is what violates the California State Penal Code. And that is why I filed a police report. It was not for retaining footage. It was for violating my privacy when I felt safe inviting him to my home and being vulnerable around him. And that is how he treated me. I cannot begin to address what else the previous speaker has said, except that I did not file a false police report, and it had nothing to do with whether or not anything was deleted or not. It had to do with the filming against my consent and uploading it to a third party. Thank you so much. Congratulations.
You see anyone else?
I see no one else on Zoom.
Okay, that being said, we will close public comment and bring us to council reports. We'll start with Councilmember Castellano.
Council reports?
Yes.
Okay, thanks. Okay. I attended the Dias Park grand opening on Saturday. This is not in any sort of chronological order. I apologize for that. The Defend Democracy Fair on Sunday, the City of Eureka Humboldt County Community Services District 2x2 district meeting, the Humboldt Waste Management Authority board meeting, the Humboldt Transit Authority board. It was many board meetings. Humboldt Transit Authority board meeting. I continue to be involved with the Northern California Association of Nonprofits planning meetings. I attended with other council members and staff the strategic visioning session. I visited David Mata's new mural at the UIHS building there off of Myrtle. And let's see, and just to let folks know that the City of Eureka is a member of the Eureka Cultural Arts District, or is a partner in the Eureka Cultural Arts District. And if you go to Eureka Cultural Arts, there's a few grants open that are supporting arts and culture efforts in the community. And then also, this isn't City of Eureka related directly, but there are a number of Human Rights Commission vacancies open. None for our area in particular, but in particular, there's 3 vacancies for Northern Humboldt, Willow Creek area. So I just want to let folks know, if you know of folks who are in those areas who might be interested in serving on the Human Rights Commission, they're looking for folks. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. Councilmember Moulton?
Thank you very much, Mayor. I have no travel to report, but I did attend the strategic visioning along with everybody else. Always a good day talking about the city in big picture form. I had a few late nights with friends and family threatened by the fires up near Happy Camp. So eager to see these rains coming in. Everybody's quite relieved. Attended Arts Alive, got to walk around. It was a light one for September, but I think everybody was pretty partied out. It's a busy weekend last week. I attended the Dias Park grand opening, of course, our stunning new park. Hundreds of neighbors out there. It was a very lively day. I went to the Defend Democracy Fair and the Meet Your Representative booth. Got a chance to sit there and talk to folks in the public. Some good perspectives, some really great questions there. It's good to connect with people. I always appreciate the chance to talk to folks directly, face-to-face, one-on-one, and just really dig into what people are interested in. We don't get a chance to answer things like public comment here, so it's nice to actually be able to just talk to people about their concerns. This morning I went to the Mornings on Main Street. Eureka Main Street hosts folks who run businesses in Old Town, and talked to a lot of people in retail. Local stores are working hard to address the challenges of the tariffs, trying to keep prices down, keep quality up, shifting suppliers, and trying to get enough stuff in the stores in time for the holiday season. So I'll recommend, like I always do, for people to shop local. We have a unique and vibrant local economy, and it's because we shop local. So please continue to do that. The folks down there are really working hard for you. And then I'm looking forward to breaking ground on the new Ops Complex, which is tomorrow. Huge project in the works. And that's all I have for now. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Fernandez?
I think much like everyone else here at the dais, I was also at Strategic Visioning. I really enjoyed it, and the opportunity to have more open and candid conversation about the vision that we want for the city collectively. Had a town hall at Carson Park. It was, a weird week. Let's leave it at that. And so attendance could have been better. So I'll think about how to do more outreach or better outreach when it comes to that, hopefully next year when I do another one. Just as some others here, I attended the opening of the Dias Park. That was fantastic. Just seeing everybody out there having a good time. The weather could not have been better timing as well. And then, just as well as some others, attended the Defend Democracy Fair. I had the opportunity to table and have the open conversation with folks who were willing to come through and introduce themselves and talk with us a bit about any issues that they might have or any information that we could give them. And then I know it's going to be a few weeks until we have our next meeting, but just the Redwood Region Economic Development Commission meeting is canceled for next week. I'm headed off to the NALEO Policy Institute on Critical Infrastructure and Emergency Preparedness next week, and then looking forward to a transit ride-along later this month.
Thank you. Councilmember Bauer?
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, I also attended strategic visioning. I wrote strategic planning, which I'm glad somebody corrected me on that, which was great. And I wish public would get more involved in that. I mean, we're setting kind of the agenda for the next few years, and you'll be able to see it, I think, pretty soon, kind of our draft for what we want to see for the city. I met with Providence to talk about some local noise issues in the ward, and they're trying to be responsive to our citizens. I also attended the Defend Democracy event, which was great. It's a beautiful day. Talked to a lot of great people who are interested in really what's going on in the city. So having those one-on-one conversations was great. I attended the Friends of the Eel River 30th anniversary. I have a long history with them and restoration work, and it was great to see them celebrate 30 years and hopefully get to celebrate dam removal in the near future on the Eel River. I missed Dayas grand opening because I was at the Redwood Coast Mountain Bike Association bike race in Blue Lake. Hundreds of people I heard from Washington down to Colorado, Washington. People from all over came for that bike race, and it was great to see all those newcomers in the community having a great time and loving what we have for mountain biking in this community. Hopefully we just keep doing more and more of that. And lastly, I'm going to miss the Ops Complex grand opening, which I'm really sad about. I'll be deep in the woods for work, and but I'm looking forward to seeing that break ground. It'd be great for our city. Thanks.
Thank you. Councilmember Contreras-Deloche?
Yeah, I also attended strategic visioning. I really appreciated the format this year that gave us an opportunity to, I think it felt like we were able to work a lot more closely with staff, and I really appreciated that. And yeah, I wish that it was better attended, and I appreciate the members of the public that did come. I also went to the 9/11 tribute that our Humboldt Bay Fire and local emergency responders hosted on 9/11, and Chief Citro, Chief Stevens, and our mayor. Was there anybody else that spoke? There's 4 of you that spoke.
Rexbone.
Oh, and Rexbone. Oh my goodness. Oh, don't nobody tell him. But I went to that, and their speeches were lovely and very touching, and something that, and mayor's was particularly lovely, but something that really stood out to me was everybody knows where they were on September 11th, but they were talking about where were we on September 12th, and just this idea of the kind of unity that everybody really found with each other at a terrible, terrible time. And anyway, so I've been thinking about that a lot. I met with the director of Humboldt Havens, and they do small shelters. They had been active up in Oregon, but have now started in California, and they're mostly working with the tribes. So just had coffee and got to know a little bit more about what they were doing. I also went to another thing around small housing, and that was with BLBS, which is also from HOOPA. That's the Building Lives by Building Structure. I went to a meeting at Church of the Joyful Healer, which is up in McKinleyville, and where they were talking about some of the ways that they are hoping to address helping with transitional shelters. Let's see. Lots of calls, I'm not sure, with constituents lately. So just a lot of people having a lot of questions about different things, with a lot of paving schedules and, new things like along those lines. So lots of questions there. I missed my meeting previous to this. So I also report that I attended the Cal Cities in Fortuna. That was really good. Learned a lot about fire safety and about making your properties fire safe. And I think that's something we probably need to maybe pursue some kind of education for our community around that idea, or have them come and present here or something. I also got to go to Dayas Park with my little guy. We've actually now been there every day since. So I am so blown away by that park. It's beautiful. I've talked about this. My youngest son is disabled, not physically disabled, but so I always look at parks and how they kind of accommodate those different kinds of needs, and that park is incredible, just across the board for both physical as well as other challenges. And while I was there, I saw other parents, a couple of parents bringing one of them bringing their little girl in her wheelchair, and she was so excited. And I was pretty tickled because we've got a wide enough opening on one of the little ground level merry-go-rounds that you can push it right on. And so I was so impressed with what staff did. And I got to visit with staff a little bit about it, and it's amazing. Upcoming, I've got travel to El Paso, Texas for NALIO for emergency preparedness. And then I just wanted to share one little thing really quick, and that was I saw an Instagram thing popped up in my feed, and it was this person that travels all over and blogs over and just has zillions of followers, and they had a blurb about Eureka, California. And it was showing all these different things. It was our zoo and our parks and the Skywalk, and it was just all this different stuff, the Carson Mansion. And someone said, hey, I've been there, and yeah, this is really cool, but actually that's not all in the same town. You have to travel hours to get to all of those different things. And I don't know if they just, and I never comment on any kind of post, but I was like, nope, got to do it. So I was like, actually elected official from this area, and nope, that is all within miles and minutes of it come up here. So anyway, it was really exciting to see that and see so many people talking about how cool it was and that they couldn't believe that many things could be in such a small city.
Okay, thank you. And then I have a few things to report myself. So I went to the Pack Out Green Team fundraiser, where they honored a lot of their many volunteers, and they honored the city of Eureka for participating and being a good team member with them. So that was really fun. And I found out that I'm actually at 25 cleanups. I thought I was only at 10, but I'm at 25, so that made me very happy. Let's see. I went to the Bold Fest launch party supporting Access Humboldt for a short film incubator. I saw Councilmember Fernandez there. I attended strategic visioning as well. I attended the Boys and Girls Club. This was really neat. The AT&T company donated 150 laptops to local students. So they were able to come on the same day as strategic visioning. I went for a while, and they got free computers, which is really a great thing for our region. 150 of them. I went to Councilmember Fernandez's town hall. I was at the Defend Democracy Fair, and that was really neat to be out there as a public official and have people come to the table and have a lot of questions. I always love talking to people because it always just reminds me of all the things that we actually are doing in Eureka. Doesn't mean that we don't have more to do, we do. But the fact that we have accomplished so much and that we have such a thriving community and a staff that really supports innovative ideas. I went to the Going Away cleanup for Gail Poppins, who is a volunteer for Humboldt Bay Trails Council. She's been doing that for a really long time. And then I went to Dayas Park, and I'll tell you, I was telling people this afternoon, if you could bottle the joy that was at that park, we'd be golden for the next year. It just was such an incredible day to be a part of our community and to watch so many kids having so much fun, and to see Leslie up on her stilts, Councilmember Castellano, just like an egret. That was beautiful. And then, and then after that, a different kind of miracle. I went to Recovery Happens, which was at Sequoia Park. They honored our first responders. They honored our fire department and the police department and the sheriff's department. But that's always an incredible event to watch people who have struggled with addiction and have them tell their stories and how the resiliency of that and how their lives have changed. That was a really beautiful thing. And then lastly, and probably the most incredible thing to me, I was honored to be able to be at the 9/11 event and to walk the stairs with the firefighters in the police department and to walk all those stairs. And that week I just watched a documentary that was two French brothers that were just following a rookie, and they just happened to Forrest Gump their way into the plane hitting the building, and they were with these firefighters throughout the event. And watching that, the firefighters and their decision to climb the stairs, like, what are we going to do? There was no decision. It was like, this is what we're going to do. We're going to move forward. And so it really meant a lot to me on a personal level to be able to do that on that day. So, we won't ever forget. And I like the idea of the 12th because certainly unity is a critical piece of a healthy community. So with that, we will move to our public hearings. Thank you, everybody, for listening. We have our card room dealer permit appeal, and that will be kicked off with Attorney Black.
Thank you, Mayor. This appeal takes place under the City of Eureka Municipal Code. The code requires that card room employees, separate from the card room licensing process, individual employees of card rooms must be licensed by the city. And that process begins, of course, with an application by an applicant for card room employment. That goes to the police chief, who then investigates the individual in question in terms of their background and their record. In this particular case, Mr. Sean Paddleford, who was the applicant and is here the appellant, the chief decided to deny his application. And he now appears before you as an appellant. Sergeant Cernich from the PD I think he did the basic, he'll tell you himself, but I believe he did the basic research that came up with the reasons that the chief denied the application. And he is prepared to talk to you up to a limited point about that. And I want to make something clear in respect to his presentation today. That is, when he goes into the state database that reports people's records, criminal records, there are limitations on what he can disclose outside the police department. And so there may be some questions that he can't answer, but there is information available to you in the staff report prepared by City Clerk Powell. The way that we proceed with this hearing, it is a quasi-judicial process. It's an administrative hearing, so that it doesn't require that the evidence or the facts upon which you base your decision be presented in accordance with rules of evidence. Your standard for deciding what is true and what is not is really based on the common understanding that people have of how you get to the truth of what people are telling you. And so you are allowed in these circumstances to hear hearsay and other evidence that may be more anecdotal, but we don't know whether that's going to occur at this hearing or not. And if you're ready to proceed, I would suggest that in this particular case, the applicant be allowed to go first, the applicant/appellant be allowed to go first, because his situation in terms of denial by the police chief is straightforward. And if he has something to say on his own behalf, I think he should be given that opportunity. And I would suggest that he not be limited to the 3 minutes that we would apply to a public comment statement, since he has a professional certification at stake. He should be given more leeway, not unlimited, of course, but more leeway to present his case.
So then shall we call up Mr. Paddleford?
That's my suggestion, yes.
Come on up, sir. Welcome.
Good afternoon. I would just like to first say thank you guys for the time, for hearing this out. And, well, I know he just said that he wanted to keep it above. I can go above 3. I've been called a long talker, so I will try to get it in there. I've been denied twice by EPD. I applied for this permit in November of last year. I was denied. I was given incorrect information on how to appeal it, and Sergeant Cernage was very, very helpful about letting me know that he had given me wrong information on how to appeal it. Anyways, I did not pursue it. At that time, I also am in recovery. I was in a treatment program, and I decided to just go in a different direction in my life at that time. I completed some things, and I decided to reapply. At first, I was told I couldn't reapply, but then I got in contact with Sergeant Cernage. He said I could. I reapplied. About a little over 90 days went by. They finally, EPD finally got back to me, and they had denied me again. What I can say is that I have 2 felonies that I was convicted of last year. I pleaded to both those felonies. I'm guilty of them. I played a part in both of them, big time. One of them is a domestic violence. Another is an assault on a convenience store cashier. I don't know if we want to go down the whole road, but he chased me. I was already out of the store. He chased me. I was almost off the property. We got into an altercation. The domestic violence, both sides, but regardless of it all, I played a part in both of them. I have a 2-year-old son. I am not able to be financially reliable to him for the last year. I'm having a lot of difficulty receiving employment. I've put in a lot of applications to a lot of places, but just to get it's stemming down to this. Domino's has denied me because of my background. Rick actually hired me, the owner of the Domino's here in Arcata and down in Fort Bragg, I believe. He said he had a few of them he owns. He wanted to hire me. He just said that he had to go through the corporate process. They came back and said that I didn't meet the standards. That one kind of devastated me a little bit. Not that I'm above Domino's or anything like that, but it was just devastating that Domino's, I wouldn't even be able to make pizzas. So I've been struggling finding a job. It hasn't deterred me in my recovery. I've completed 50 hours community service requested by my probation. Also to complete a residential treatment program I completed at Crossroads. I left Crossroads and got into the New Life Discovery Project, which isn't considered a residential treatment program, but it is with people. You can get into that program as well as if you have a substance abuse problem, you can use that. So that's, along with mental things. I'm finding out all kinds of things about my life at 43 that have stemmed from years of alcohol and drug abuse. That being said, I went the 6 months that they allow there, never any problems. Was able to have my son. I had my own room there for 6 months. He could come over, he could spend the night. Was able to do that. Had to leave. My time was up in July 25th. I got into a clean and sober house. I reside there now. And I continued the whole time at New Life to put in a lot of applications. I'm down at DHHS, putting applications, doing the lab work, going to the lab there, going to their 4 hours. They have like a work thing that they do as well there that you can go to. Sometimes I do that. Sometimes I'm on the computer filling out applications. Did that. I just continued to receive no's. And I have decided to go back to school full time. So this is my 4th week of school. I'm in school full time. I'm in contact with Ralim. She's the owner of the North Coast Casino here in Eureka. I've been in contact with her for a little less than a year. She knows my background, and she's known it from the get about a year ago when I first met her. I also have a background in dealing poker and blackjack. I learned how to deal them both when I was 19. My parents were both in the casino business. My dad started in Reno. My mom was a poker dealer. She passed away as a poker dealer. I was raised on a poker dealer's income my whole life. I believe I was very well taken care of by my mother. She raised me and my little brother. And I decided at 19 that was something that I wanted to do as well. And I learned how to deal blackjack. I learned how to deal poker. I've dealt at a couple of different casinos, one down in Santa Barbara, the Chumash, and I've dealt on the East Coast as well at a casino there. And Ralim, still to this day, will put me to work immediately. I would like to start being financially responsible with my son, paying child support, even though me and the mother have been to court, but we are working things out instead of going the court way, but we did have to have the court involved in the beginning. But me and her are on a lot better terms. There is no order that I have to stay away from her. I get my son. I don't have supervised visits. I have a peaceful contact with her, but it used to be a no contact. She actually came to one of my hearings when I was incarcerated there and had the judge ultimately overturn it and turn it into a peaceful contact. That's been ever since I was released. And that's where I'm at today. I think I got satisfactory grades in school. I'm doing 12 units. And I'm still unemployed. And when I left New Life, I had put in a lot of work, but I was still unemployed. But Mr. Dale Ward was able to let me come to his sober living with the hopes of telling me, don't worry about it and keep on doing the best you can do. I truly believe that I'm doing the best that I can do with my life right now. And I made a change in me, a change the way that I see life. I definitely have stopped blaming people, places, and things. And I take the accountability for my life these days. And maybe to some people, it comes easy to do that, but I don't think I really have taken accountability for my actions my whole life. And at 43, I'm finally starting to see some kind of light. And I am humbly asking the council or whoever makes the ultimate decision that they would overturn the denial, so I might be able to go to work at least one day at that card room and pay my child support or whatever my child needs. When he's in my custody, I have diapers, I have food, but I don't house him. I do when he's there with me on Saturdays. But ultimately, I know I don't pay rent for him to live. I would like to start giving his mother any money that I can give, which I did just get the FAFSA, and out of the some of the FAFSA that I got, I immediately gave her a few $100s. I mean, it's neither here nor there. I haven't paid her anything in a year. It's not that. I hope it does not come off like I'm bragging or doing a big thing. I'm not, but that's. As an adult, as a man today, that's where my head is immediately. I don't care if she goes and spends it on whatever, it's for both of them. And I know that she's a good mother, and she's always taken care of. She has 3 other kids with her ex-husband. They're well taken care of. They're spoiled. My son is well taken care of there, even with me being the trouble that I've been in and trying to get back on my feet as an adult. He's very well taken care of, and my mind is I want to help as much as I can. And it seems to me that Ralim is the only person that will put me to work, and she doesn't have to go through a corporate or anything like that. It's her business. I definitely want to help her business grow too. I have a lot of experience. I would be one of the most experienced dealers in that card room. And thank you for hearing me, guys. That's what I got. Thank you.
Thank you. Procedurally, City Attorney Black, should we hold off questions until both speakers have spoken, or should we do questions concurrently?
I think you could do it either way. I would say just go ahead when the questions are fresh and the
Okay.
speaker's there at the podium.
Great, thank you. So do we have any questions for Mr. Paddleford? Councilmember Moulton? And then Castellano?
Thank you, Mayor. And thank you, sir. I applaud your bravery and your honesty to be able to get up and speak your personal truth right now in this moment. I can appreciate how that's a big deal. Thank you for that. I was curious if Raleen if you've discussed the possibility of other work in her establishment that don't require this kind of licensure.
I believe any work in the card room has to have a permit.
Is that correct? Okay, thank you.
Yeah, the way the ordinance read it, it's any employee of a card room.
Okay.
So
not
I don't
just
think
locals.
it's limited to dealers.
And have you looked for this kind of work in other establishments in the area, in other casinos or card rooms?
With my felonies, that's not going to happen on any of the reservations.
Okay. Thank you. That's all my questions right now. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you for
Councilmember-
your compliment as
Coun-
well. I appreciate that.
Councilmember Castellano?
Sure. Yeah, thank you for presenting today. About how many applications have you submitted for other employment in the area?
I'm in the range of 30, I believe.
And you participated in Pathway to Payday?
I've done
I saw
Pathway to
that.
Payday. I completed the MC3 class that they had. I don't know if you guys were available. I submitted a lot of paperwork, and I submitted some things that I have from, one is from Wes Harris over at Crossroads, just saying that I completed the program. Really, that's what he said, and that I continue to do it. But the ones that really come into mind are the ones that are from New Life Discovery, from a little bit of time that I had been there, and then also on my exit date too. I had one of the counselors there, right? I asked her to write if she would be willing to do that, and she did. Just stating like my time there, what I've done, and who I am today, not with or
And
what I've done.
Did any job offers come out of Pathway to Payday?
I did. They're both were with the Express personnel, and there's another one in Arcata. And I checked on both of them. I went out to Arcata a few times. I had to change up my my availability. My availability became wide open all this, but none of those ever panned out. I know they did not say, "Hey, we got a maintenance job for you." I don't know. Neither of them panned out. The MC3 class was a 5-week class from Monday to Friday, and it was to learn more about the union jobs. Basically, but mostly it focused on the laborers' union. And I did get an invitation to the assessment that they had now finally brought up from Santa Rosa, and it brought it to Eureka. And I got invited to that very first assessment that they had. And it panned out to be too much on my body. I'm not in that kind of shape anymore. Planks and bricks and moving them from one place in the gravel. So I decided not to go down that route with the laborers union.
Thank you.
Councilmember Fernandez?
Thank you. You had mentioned a temp agency. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what was that?
That was Express.
Okay.
And then I don't know why I cannot recall. They do a lot of marijuana. The other temp agency. I don't know. It's not ringing a bell in my
Thank you.
head.
Yeah, dark staffing. There
Dark
we go.
staffing. Yes, yes. But that's also. I'm willing to do anything, but the marijuana industry isn't really the industry that I want to be around. But at the time, packaging it. I mean, I'm still willing to do any job, but I have in the last month, 3.5 weeks, I have discontinued looking for work. I'm going to school full time, and I knew that I had this coming up, so I have stopped looking for employment.
Right,
in the
and I know
last 2
you had
weeks.
touched on the fact that you've
Yeah.
applied for the FAFSA. You're looking at funding for schooling, correct?
Right,
Okay. Have there been any sort of jobs on campus that you might be able to come by?
They're all filled right now, but they do have the work to program. But I'm on the list.
Okay.
Because they're filled.
And I have a few questions because you did touch on it. And so you had said that you were convicted last year of 2 felonies.
I was.
And so what was the time that the crime had occurred between when you were convicted? How much time in between?
So since the conviction, it's been a year since
n-
I was convicted.
No, when the crime occurred versus when you were convicted.
May 18th. And before that was a month before that. And then I was released August 17th of 2024. So I did 90 days in Humboldt County from the time that for the domestic violence. I was arrested on May 18th of 2024. And then I was released August 17th, 2024.
Okay, thank you for that.
Okay.
That's the timeline I was kind of asking for. And then you said you've been going through program. I think I was looking at some of what had been provided to us, and that was about anger management as well as substance programs. And so the crimes that you had, were you under the influence at the time?
I was.
Okay. Were there any sort of weapons or other drugs involved?
No, they were alcohol induced.
Okay. And then since that time, it looks like, what have you been doing during this intermittent time? Because it looks like you've been going through program, you've been applying for work, you've been going to school. And so how have you been holding yourself up during this time?
I go to a lot of meetings, at least one a day.
Mm-hmm.
And any opportunity that I get to be with my son besides Saturday, I take. I read. And that's about it. I'm in the beginning, I was going to 3 meetings a day, morning, afternoon, and at night. Crossroads, you couldn't, at the time I was there at Crossroads, and I was at HRC for 45 days as well. You don't do much except for program there. You can leave, but like it's to go to a meeting. So the times that I was in both those treatment centers, I just was there for the most part. When I got I went right from Crossroads, I went over to the New Life Discovery Project. That I did meetings, and I was down at DHHS filling out applications, doing their work program, and that's been my life for the 6 months that I was there, filling out applications, waiting for people to either contact me or reaching out to them. I did the month of then in what was it, February, I did the week of Pathway to Payday. Then the whole month of March and the first week of April, I did the MC3 class. That was Monday through Friday, 8 to 4:30. And so that was that month, and then that's really it. And I still continue to do the outpatient at Crossroads. I go there at least once a week. They drug test me there. They drug tested me once a week at New Life at the hotel. So I sit in groups at Crossroads. You got to do the outpatient. It's after you graduate there. I did 60 days there. If you can get a year completion program too there, doing the outpatient, you go a week, you still continue to participate in any group that you want to. Anger management, they got a codependency group. They have the MRT classes that they do Tuesdays and Thursdays, which I completed that while I was at Crossroads. It's a 12-step book, but it's not like the 12 steps of, they're all similar, but NA and A, but it's a 12 steps on other things.
Right, you're going
in
through
your
a
life.
program.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
How did you come to find this work available at the card room?
So I was at HRC and I heard that this card room opened up. It was on Facebook, and I was like, no way.
Mm-hmm.
And I went down there one day and it was open, but they didn't have a game going. And I talked to a young lady by the name of Crystal, and I just told her not my whole background. I didn't walk in there to tell her that I was a felon, but she told me to come back when the owner was there. And so I guess I muscled up enough courage to be like, hey, it's going to have to come out anyways. And I just gave it a shot. So I went in there, and Raleen was there, and she put me in the box. That's where you sit down. And I dealt a couple of hands. She had some guy watch me, and he was like, yeah, he can deal. Then as soon as I got up out of the box, I wanted to let her know right away that I was a convicted felon. And it just so happened that her brother used to be the warden out in New York at Rikers. And she said that she believes people should get 2, 3, 4 chances. And I don't know. I just, ever since that day, she's always just told me, hey, Sean, you have to get your permit. And I'll put you to work. And then she was like, you got denied, really? And I was like, I did. They did deny me. That was back in November. And then when I just reapplied a few months ago, 3 months ago, and then it took 3 months for them to come back again and tell me that I was denied again, which I had Sergeant Cerner made it pretty clear that he was probably going to deny me again, just because it falls in the 15 things that they can deny you for a work permit, and one of them is number 10, A, B, C, and B is any felonies. So any felonies, they can't. I guess Eureka Police Department can deny you for any felonies.
Mm-hmm. And I know you're here today making the appeal, so you clearly have some motivation to do this. It's, in reflection in this moment, then, do you feel that you're capable of being in a situation in a card room surrounded by gambling and alcohol?
I do. Definitely. Capable of not picking up a drink and not falling into gambling thing? No. And actually, more so than anything, 6 months ago, 5 months ago, it was, man, I want a job. Today, I just want to be able to give my son some money. So if working there a day or two picks me up a couple of $100 for the week, it's going to my son. I'm kind of taken care of for school. I think I've mapped it out, and I've used all the resources this city has, the college has. I've used them all since I've gotten released from prison. I've taken every opportunity, every resource, and I think I'm on a good track with my life, and I continue to take opportunities that are shown my way, and for this job now, I'm taking care of my school. It's not really for that. I got to pay back the money for the loan, right? That's 2 years down the road. Right now, if I can work a little bit and make a little bit of cash, it's going to my son.
Okay. And just for clarity, county jail, not state prison, correct?
Correct.
Okay. You had said prison. That's why I wanted to clarify that.
Prison? Excuse me. No.
My last question is, are you currently on any probation or parole?
I am. I'm on 3-year felony probation, which one of my stipulations is I will be on 3-year probation no matter what. Mm-hmm. I have to do 3 years. So I'm a year into it, a little over a year into it.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Do we have any other questions? Councilmember Contreras-Deloche?
Hi, I'd also like to say that I appreciate that you're making these efforts to try to improve your life, and encourage you to keep going that direction and not give up. I do have a couple of questions. Earlier you had said that you were that you were convicted of 2 felonies. But during this last 2-year period of time, you've been arrested 5 times for violent felonies. Is that correct?
No. I've been arrested for. This is the first time I've ever been convicted of a felony in my life. But I don't know if there's like 1, 2, or 3 of them that go on the domestic violence. I think there was maybe 3 things that went with the domestic violence, and then with the assault, there is 1 charge. I don't remember. I just call it a domestic violence and the assault charge.
I see. Okay. So you're talking about 2 incidents, but you're not sure how many things might have been charged in those incidences. Is that what you mean?
Right. That's what I'm. Well, they're two separate incidents. The assault is on a gentleman. Was on a convenience clerk, and the domestic violence was on the mother of our child.
I see.
And I think there's two. There might have been. There's something on there like threatening because I yelled because I threatened her on that night in question. So I think that was a charge too. Making threats.
Do you feel that that's connected to, was it substance use, alcohol, or?
I was drunk.
Drunk.
Absolutely, I was.
Is that something that, and you feel that you can be in that environment safely around alcohol on a regular basis?
Yeah, definitely. I walk by a liquor store every day and make the choice not to go in there and get a bottle. I definitely can be around alcohol and not drink. I mean, I've been around since I've been in recovery. I've been around alcohol quite a bit, and make the choice to not drink. I can't drink. I'm an alcoholic.
I don't have any other questions. Thank you.
Thank you for your compliment as well.
Okay, anything further? Okay, seeing none. Oh,
sorry.
excuse me, I'm sorry. Councilman Fernandez.
I think for clarity, what may have been being asked was what we have here showing us is that you were arrested on 5 separate violent felony charges, and you were convicted of 2.
No, it wasn't ever, but it wasn't 5 separate.
But those
It wasn't
5
5
are
separate
relating to the
incidents.
2 incidents?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if at the time they put 3. I don't know how it came out, but it wasn't. It was just those 2 incidents on one was on one day and one was on the other day.
Okay.
I actually, the first one at the gas station was first, and then a month later, I got the DV charge. So
Thank you.
I was on supervised release for the first convenience store incident, and I committed the domestic violence when I was on that supervised release.
Thank you so much. If we have anything further, we'll bring you back up.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Mhm. And Sergeant Cernich.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. I hope to serve as to answer any questions you guys might have regarding this process. I think what I'll do is probably walk you through what the card room dealer process is, so you have an idea of what that encompasses. First and foremost, an applicant submits a application for a card room dealer permit. Once we receive that application, one of the first steps is to perform a live scan process. A live scan process assists us by getting their criminal history record. We utilize that criminal history record as part of our investigation for that card room dealer process. We compare that criminal history record with all the enumerated things that are listed in the municipal code that we're looking at when we do an investigation for a card room dealer permit. In regards to Mr. Paddleford's application process, I can tell you that we reviewed his application, and the investigation found that he was eligible for a denial based on felony convictions. That's not the only item that we look at when we do an investigation for those processes. If you look at the criteria in the municipal code, there are a variety of other things. I can tell you that based on his particular application, the only reason for the denial based on the criteria listed in the municipal code was the felony conviction. I think to maybe try to bring some clarity to some of the questions that we had, as Sean, Mr. Paddleford alluded to, he did have 2 arrests. In those 2 arrests, there were 5 felony charges. So it was not 5 separate incidents, only 2. That being said, do you guys have any questions?
Councilmember Bauer?
Yeah, thank you. I'm reading through employee work permits, such as 113.32. Correct me if I'm wrong, it says chief of police, I believe I'm on the right section, but the chief of police shall conduct an investigation and may refuse. It's not a shall refuse, right? So there is some ability to not deny somebody based off of their criminal history. Am I correct?
Yeah, I think the chief of police does have that
leeway,
latitude, and leeway to look at what particular types of felonies have been committed and make a determination based on reviewing those.
Okay, thank you.
Councilmember Fernandez and then Moulton.
Going off of that question, then I understand that you're not the chief. You're walking us through the process. So what would be an allowance then? Would it be a specific amount of time? Would it be a lesser felony? I'm trying to understand what may occur to see through or allow someone with a checkered past.
Sure. I think the amount of time and the contemporaneous nature of the convictions play a substantial part in that determination. The type of conviction is significant. As you go through the outline material in the municipal code, certain types of convictions might be more concerning than others, particularly with the card room permit, embezzlement, fraud, the various types of fraud. Those particular convictions can be weighed heavily with regard to that determination.
And even if the applicant were to pursue an expungement, this would still show up in the background check, and this might still be an appealable procedure then, if that were the case. Am I making sense with that question?
If they pursue an expungement of their criminal history record?
Yes. Because my understanding is with state licensing, state licensure, even if you were an RN, you committed some sort of crime in the past, you'd still have to go through. Would that be the case here?
Would you still have to go through
the background check? Would this still show up even though you've gone through an expungement process?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
Councilmember Moulton.
You mentioned some of the disqualifying crimes being like financial related. That makes sense. If someone has a background of extortion or like you say, if there was was there a judgment call in this moment that says that these crimes should disqualify this fellow from a license? And can someone explain that judgment call? Was it your decision or was it the chief's decision?
So I did a recommendation to the chief for a denial.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was in large part due to the types of felony convictions Mr. Paddleford had, as well as the contemporaneous time nature that they occurred.
So because it was violent crimes and because they were relatively recent?
Yes.
Okay. Does this might be a question for you or City Attorney Black, does this license carry with the dealer? I'm thinking about this employer who is willing to take a chance on somebody, and then if they then decide that turns out it's not a good idea, have we then given someone a license that they can carry with them to other places in town, or would they have to reapply for a different job in a different card room?
My understanding, and City Attorney Black can correct me if I'm wrong, if they went to another process, they would have to apply again, I believe.
Okay. Thank you.
Councilmember Fernandez and then Castellano. Oh, go ahead.
Thank you. Thanks for being here tonight. I'm curious if there is any precedent or possibility for like a temporary or conditional permit in which like specific, for instance, like with the provision that someone remain in other supporting, like remain enrolled in school or in education or remained in treatment programs or something like that.
I'm not aware of anything that's in the ordinance that allows us to put conditions on it. In other words, I assume what you're saying is that we'll grant this ability to work in the card room if they remain sober, or if they remain this or that. I don't think we have the ability to do so.
Is there the capacity to put an additional review then? You know, if there's not conditions, then maybe there's a 6-month review.
Councilmember, I believe that there's a provision to revoke the permit, that the process is there if something occurs, and the either the owner or the police chief can revoke.
There is that, and I would say that even if you don't have the power to impose conditions that the applicant might refuse or resist, if the applicant were to agree, if you were to suggest a condition and the applicant said, I would agree to come back in 6 months and let you do a review, that could result in the revocation if I don't walk the straight and narrow. You'd have to define it. If they agreed to that, I think that could be written in. But it's voluntary on their part. So,
Okay.
The alternative would be to deny the permit, and maybe that's they'd rather agree to the voluntary condition.
Thank you.
Councilmember Fernandez.
Thank you. Thank you for that question, Councilmember Castellano. I had to delete it from mine because you cut right to it. And so I'm curious if I understand we have the authority whether to approve or deny a permit, and so how does that play into the process of the Gaming Commission for California? Do they still have any oversight in the process, or is it squarely on us?
I would assume that they do. I don't know if there's a gaming. I'm not familiar with that. I know Nevada has a gaming commission and they have rules and regulations. I'm not sure. I think that the applicant could probably answer that question because they'd have to probably go through that process.
So we don't know then.
I don't know.
Okay. I'm going to wait. Go ahead.
Councilmember Contreras Deloach.
The 2 arrests in the last couple of years, were those here locally?
One arrest was out of the Eureka Police Department, and the other arrest was out of a neighboring jurisdiction within Humboldt County.
Okay. Are we going to have an opportunity to ask Mr. Paddleford any more questions?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Do we have any more questions for Sergeant Cernich at this time? Councilmember Fernandez?
Yeah, I'm curious how long someone should wait to apply then after. I heard 10 years. Okay, thank you. That's all.
Okay. So thank you.
Thank you.
And did you have a further question for Mr. Paddleford? Mr. Paddleford, if you'd come forward, please. Thank you.
You've been here long? Are you from this area?
I'm not.
Okay.
I've been here for 3 years.
For how long?
For 3 years.
For 3 years. And these arrests
familiar
happen.
with the area, though. I was born in Reading.
Okay.
But at the time, from 2015 to 2022, I lived in Rhode Island.
Have you ever had any arrests anywhere else?
Not in Rhode Island. In California, I have a record. They're all alcohol related.
No, outside this area?
Yes, since I've been 19 years old. Reading, Santa Barbara County. So Shasta County, early when I was 18, I think. But then I moved to Santa Barbara County, and I have a record out of Santa Barbara County. but since 2011 to 2024.
What's 2011?
No arrests.
No arrests from 2011 to 2024
Anywhere.
until.
Just in 2024.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilmember Castellano?
Do you have any ideas for voluntary agreements you might be willing to make?
I'm
if
100% willing to make any agreement and come back here and show any kind of report that you guys would like to see or whatever. I'm doing it. So I'm 100% willing to and upheld. I'm willing to come in here once a week.
I
or anywhere you guys would want me to go to show progress.
Yeah.
I'm serious about this.
I feel you. I
Okay.
appreciate it. I appreciate it. I think I would be curious for you because, you know, in the sense of agreements, right, I think they're meaningful if they also emerge from like your mind and imagination in terms of like what feels appropriate to you. And, you know, also, you know, to me, right, like the most obvious would be something like, you know, remaining in treatment program and, you know, having consistent attendance or something like that. That being said, you know, like I think it would be meaningful for you to say something that you think would be an agreement that you could consider, you know, keeping up with for 6 months.
We'll definitely continue to be in compliance with probation's orders. I meet with my probation officer twice a month right now. Alcohol and drug testing are mandatory at the clean and sober house that I live in. Crossroads once a week. Any day that I go there, Monday through Friday, I'm immediately tested, and then I sit down in whatever group they have going on. They have two groups, 8, 10, and 2, but the 8 o'clock group doesn't really, it's more the 10 o'clock or 2 o'clock group that I attend. And any day that I go there that week, I'm drug tested. But I'm willing to reach out to Wes, to Dale Ward, to my probation officer and get any kind of get any kind of documents or something in writing showing that I am continuing with my sobriety, continuing with my clean time. With school, as soon as midterms come, I'm willing to bring in a satisfactory report that I'm attending class and that I'm making satisfactory grades. And this is nothing. I'm willing to do this all on me. I'll reach out to the people that I need to reach out to. I don't know if I would need to be in contact with Ms. Powell to email her, but we have been in email recently, some connection. But I can always come. I live 5 minutes from this building. I walked here today. I'm willing to come down here. I'm willing to sign and do anything. And
Yeah. Thank you.
I like it. I like being held accountable.
I see City Attorney Black wants to comment.
City Attorney Black?
So if council is seriously considering this, I might suggest that keeping it simple is important and not have reporting from a bunch of different agencies or requiring him to come in, frequently. And one thing he might be willing to do is agree that we can reach out to his probation officer and just request that any violation of probation would be reported to the city in addition to the court or the probation system, that we would be notified if he fails a drug test or he fails to report or he fails in some other fashion. And then we can just kind of rely on the regularity of that to notify you, as opposed to, just a lot of exchanging of information that may not be necessary.
And Mayor, could we open public comment before we continue?
Sure.
And close
So,
it.
Would you like to be able to have a seat?
yes, please.
Thank you.
So with that, we will open this public hearing. Is there anyone from the public here to comment on this item? Do you see anybody on Zoom?
I see no one on Zoom.
Okay, seeing no one, we will bring it back to council for further conversation. Councilmember Moulton, and then I have a question, but go ahead.
I just had a clarifying question. You mentioned that there's testing at Crossroads. Is there testing as part of your probation in the interest of simplicity?
Yes.
So if we were to, as City Attorney Black is suggesting, keep things really simple, would you be continuing to do testing with your probation for as long as you have probation?
I would have to ask her because she does not drug test me or alcohol test me every time I see her.
It's at the.
But she's also she's in communication with Crossroads and the Clean and Sober.
So she has access to these other tests.
She does. She does.
Okay.
But I also do think that she can tell. She looks at me, but she goes on my word a lot as well. I don't know if she reaches out to him all the time, and they specifically tell him. I don't know, but I don't know because I haven't ever gave them a dirty test for her to be like, hey, Crossroads said you came up dirty, or Dale said you came up dirty, you got kicked out of the Clean and Sober house. So I don't really know what their communication is, but I do think there is some communication there. But as far as specifically for her, I think if this were to go through, I might want to put in, I'll ask my probation officer every time I see her if she could go ahead and test me, because that's part of the requirement that I need in order to get my my work permit to be a cardroom dealer. So yeah, like I said, I'm willing to do that too. I mean, I'm willing to say, hey, to my probation officer, and when I see her twice, I see her every other week, that, hey, could you test me so I can have you fill a report or whatever is needed to be.
I understand.
Yeah.
Your willingness and cooperation is abundant, clear, very clear. Thank you.
So, Mr. Paddleford, I'm curious. So, I know that you have been through Crossroads and you're with Dale Ward now. Do any of these people know that you're here tonight? Did you reach out to any of them about your hearing and what you were doing tonight?
I didn't reach back out to him because it actually was supposed to take place on the 2nd, and everybody knew that it was happening on the 2nd. But something came up September 2nd, and we weren't able to do it. So I didn't go around telling everybody that I had my appeal. But there are a bunch of people that do know that today. This is where I'm at right now.
I was just
my probation
curious.
officer knows.
Okay. I was just curious if they couldn't be here, if they would have been willing to write letters of support or anything like that.
Well, that's why I do have a few letters
Oh, okay.
that I
I didn't
submitted
see the.
that are
I didn't see the back one. Okay.
supportive letters.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Go ahead.
Okay. You said that you have 3 years of felony probation, correct?
I do.
Okay.
1 year completed. 1 year done. I've been on felony probation for a year.
So 2 years
2 more
going
years.
of mandated good behavior with random drug testing. So
yes,
I don't see any reason to add more to it other than allowing us, if we were to move forward with a motion to allow this, to have the results of those meetings with probation officer. I'm sorry, I'm confused on whether it's probation or parole, and that's my fault.
it's excuse me, it's probation.
Probation, yeah. So getting those reports and checking in with that officer.
Okay. Councilmember Contreras-Deloche.
The testing that you've been referring to, it's drug testing, right?
Yes, and alcohol testing too. 'Cause
There's alcohol testing as well?
Yeah, because alcohol will show up.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I was wondering. Because it sounds like for you, the alcohol's the issue. Or
Yes.
the one that makes you more likely to act out physically.
It has been for my life.
So So I just, going back to something you had said earlier, it sounds as though you had multiple job opportunities. One of those was through Express. You said there was some availability issues. I'm not sure what that means. You said you also had an offer for labor union job, but that you didn't feel that you were well suited to manual labor at this point. And then also an offer from dark staffing, but that was something that you didn't feel comfortable with.
No, excuse me, you misheard me. Both of the Express and dark staffing just said when something that they see meets my criteria, they would reach out to me and let me know that they have work for me. Both of the places never reached out to me.
Okay, so there was no offer from them.
No,
there was a labor job that
the
you
labor
didn't feel
job
was a good fit.
and it was not. It was not an offer. It was to come and take the assessment, and if you pass the assessment, you'll be put on a list for the labor's union. You have to go up the list, and sometimes it takes a lot. But that wasn't in my decision making as far as not being able to get into the labor's union right away. I went there. I gave it my best ability, and it was a lot more than I thought it was going to be, and I was hurting physically.
So
Just doing
before,
the
I'm sorry,
assessment.
just a point of, so before we carry on with this conversation, I would like to have a motion, and then we can have more conversation.
I will make a motion that we follow law enforcement's recommendation and decline this permit at this time. I think there are other options, and I'm sorry that you have this process that is ahead of you, but it's been barely over a year. So my recommendation would be that we trust law enforcement's recommendation that they've given multiple times in this area and hold off on granting this at this time.
Okay, so we have a motion. Do we have a second for further discussion?
I'll second for discussion.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. So did you have another comment or question, or you were done?
I'm done.
Okay. Councilmember Castellano?
And I apologize, my computer died, so I don't have the motion in front of me, but I make a substitute motion to allow for this card room dealer permit with the condition, the voluntary condition that Sean's, sorry, my computer, anyway, that your probation officer report to the city once a month.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second. Is there any further conversation?
I do. I have something to say.
Councilmember Bauer?
Yeah, I appreciate that, and I believe in giving people second chances 100%. However, I feel like we're taking on the role of probation a little bit by saying report to, I don't know who it would be, Pam or Attorney Black, and I think the matter is more either yes or no. Are we disagree with the chief and we disagree with the rules that we have in place. And I'm, for one, am totally open to exploring how we can change this. Maybe conviction of a felony, is a grounds for a refusal. However, after a year of probation, we can say no. That's something, changing our existing municipal code, because the rules that were created, I don't think were created out of thin air. There's reasons for them, and someone that has to deal with laws all the time at work, there's reasons behind these things. So I have trouble disagreeing with our law enforcement, and I do believe in second chances, but we have rules in place that I think we should follow until we fix them. So that's my 2 cents. And I totally do believe in second chances, believe me. However, I also think there's something that we need to work on here. And I also think we shouldn't be requiring things that like report to us. That's not our role. We're either a yes or no, I think, on this one, but that's just my opinion. Thanks.
Councilmember Fernandez?
I believe we are potentially correcting an inadequacy in the rules that we currently have. As it's already been asked, it's permissive. It's that the chief may deny or uphold. And in this sense, it's simple from my perspective to say that it is permissive, but that it may not be fully considered everything that's gone into it when you look at, well, all the letters that have been brought here, let alone the employer. It doesn't seem that there's any fault from the folks who have either known him or have gotten to know him. And I understand the potential issue here with the timeliness of it. But even going to, I think it may have just been said in the moment, maybe you complete that year of probation and then we reassess. That year of probation or parole has been completed. And so through the process, we're coming here and making that decision. And this gives us the opportunity then to, again, address the inadequacy at a later date by going through this, which I believe we have. And I can pontificate on my own history, just given I've been on 3-year probation before, felony stop and search for a misdemeanor. So I know what it's like to have to wait that out, and in that time try and find work and try and do everything right. The fact that you're going through this process where you do have a felony, there's a lot that you're not going to have by right of having that on your record. And so to take one more of these pieces away where you're trying to find employment, and granted that it sounds like there was the potential there for labor, but we're not all built for that. And we might all try to persevere through that, but it comes to a point where it's like, I can't do this anymore. So then where would you be at the end of that?
Councilmember Moulton?
Thank you. I just wanted to speak to the fact that we're not, regardless of the decision, this isn't about like correcting an incorrect decision before. Everybody at every step is following the rules for their step. And there's a reason that appeals to council are built into so many things. And that is to, potentially make exceptions in exceptional circumstances. And I do have a concern with the contemporaneous nature of these violations, but I also do see exceptional effort and exceptional circumstances here. So if there were this caveat of being able to follow up again later, and this employer is willing to take a chance on this individual, and so much effort and so many different recommendations have been made, I think we need to take all of that into account, along with the law enforcement checking their boxes that they, the rules that they have been asked to apply to this situation.
Thank you. Anything further? Councilmember Contreras Deloche.
I think also too, some of what's been suggested is essentially volunteering our staff to sort of play the role of probation. I'm not comfortable doing that. I think that's inappropriate. I think it's inappropriate for us to be trying to play that role at all. And so I think either we go off of some independent measuring tool, which would be something like law enforcement, or even something like, his own probation officer, or that length of time that they've laid out, 3 years, and then you can address it then. Or, like Scott said, you just, pass it yes or no, because that does get into the weeds. And I don't think we should be volunteering staff to be engaging in that.
Okay. Last comment, and we're going to call for the vote.
Okay. I just want to make it clear that I do not believe that staff is playing the role of probation in this, and that we're asking probation to play the role of probation and just share information with staff. I just want to make that clear.
So just so we're clear, what I'm taking the alternate motion to mean is basically us getting a hold of the probation officer for Mr. Paddleford, requesting that if there's any violations of their parole, that we be notified.
Couldn't we ask the applicant to have so that way we don't have to incur additional staff time
Well, no, that's what I mean. I mean, I think if we asked the probation officer, I would think that they would be amenable to just notify us if there's any violation of probation. That doesn't take a monthly report or anything like that, other than the reliance upon that probation officer to make sure we're notified if there's a violation over the next 2 years.
That was the voluntary part of your motion, is that right?
Yeah, I'm
that they don't
amenable
have
to
to
that,
adhere
yeah.
to, but they could.
Okay. So I just heard Councilmember Castellano is amendable to that. Who was the second? And you're amendable? Okay. Please vote.
So may I clarify that when a substitute motion is made, the first vote is on the substitute motion, just so everybody knows how they're voting.
Everybody knows what you're voting on.
Wait, okay, so then what are we voting on right now?
You're voting on
Leslie's substitute motion.
Okay, thanks. That's what I thought.
Should I read the motion?
So it's motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Yes, it is motion to approve.
Motion to approve. 4 yes votes. Councilmember Contreras Deloach votes no. Motion carries.
Great. We will take a 10-minute break.
That was a yes.
Of the Eureka City Council, and we are going to begin with the consent calendar. Notice to the public, all matters listed under this category are considered to be routine by the City Council and will be enacted by one motion. Pursuant to City Council Resolution 2011-22, if a member of the public would like an item on the consent calendar pulled and discussed separately, the request shall be made to a council member prior to the meeting. Unless a specific request is made by a council member, the consent calendar will not be read. There will be no separate discussion of these items. And as far as I'm aware, there's nothing to be pulled. So if we could get a motion.
I'll approve the consent calendar. I'll move to approve the consent calendar.
Second.
Please vote.
5 yes votes. Motion carries.
Okay, this moves us to legislative action correspondence. Do we have any? Councilmember Bauer?
Yeah, October 12th, all the bills that are currently on the governor's desk will either be signed or won't be. And Cal Cities has a whole, I'm sure you've seen the emails, it has a whole laundry list. And there's some bills I think we can still chime in on before October 12th and express our opinion. AB 492 is alcohol and drug program licensing. And all this would require DHCS to notify a city if the department approves a new license in the jurisdiction. And I've had members of the public say, hey, they opened a house next to mine. I didn't know anything. And so I think it's just it's no big deal to let the cities know that they're opening a new facility in a neighborhood. So I'd like to have us sign a letter of support for that bill.
Consensus?
Yes or no?
Thumbs up,
Just that
thumbs
one? Or you have
No, I got more.
Okay.
down? So thumbs up on that one.
SB, where is it? Sorry, I got to find my list here. SB 456. Where did it go? I lost it. Hold on a second. Oh, this one's about muralists. And so this measure would exempt muralists from having to obtain a contractor's license through the California State Licensing Board before being commissioned for art projects. How do we feel about that? It would say you wouldn't need one because currently I guess you're supposed to have a license to be a muralist. Did you know that?
No.
See, so what do you think? I think that's pretty easy, right?
Thumbs up, thumbs down. Right? Okay.
Okay, excellent. SB 748, encampment resolution funding. This measure allows the encampment resolution funding program to apply to safe parking sites. I think that's kind of a no-brainer. I guess right now it doesn't. So if anybody were to pursue that, they would, city, county, whoever could get funding for safe parking sites. Yes? All right, and one more, SB 840 is Greenhouse Gas Reduction Fund, and basically it's authorizing the cap and trade program to appropriate money, $1 billion for the legislature to appropriate as part of the annual budget, $800 million for affordable housing and sustainable communities, and $200 million continuous appropriation for wildfire prevention funding. Seems, yep. Yeah, they're on the net, but there's still some time to let him know how we feel. So,
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Councilmember Contreras Deloach.
Can I just clarify the numbers there to make sure that we have that correct? You have SB 492 support.
AB 492.
Excuse me, AB 492 support, SB 456 support, SB 748 support, and SB 840 support.
Yeah, and I have sample letters I can share. Thank you.
Okay, Councilmember Contreras Deloach.
I don't know what this is actually, I was going to thank all of you guys, first of all, for supporting AB 1378. I had brought it up at a previous one, and we had sent a letter, and this was the one that helps bolster ICWA, which is the Indian Child Welfare Act, that not council member, for heaven's sakes, I demoted him, Assemblymember Rogers had put out there. It has very strong bipartisan support, but it is also sitting on the governor's desk. So it's parked there. I'm not exactly totally sure why it's parked and hasn't moved yet, but so I don't know if we can write something else in addition saying, hey, we really do want this. Can we?
So
or is it kind of like we reiterate?
No, I mean, I think, once we put it's out there, they have it. I don't know what else we can,
Okay. Yeah. Well, thank you. I'm hoping it passes. It has bipartisan support. So it would be really great. I think we're one of just a handful of cities that supported it. So thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Fernandez.
I was also hoping we could put on the list Assembly Bill 294 that would grant the California Office of Emergency Services the authority to prioritize funding and technical assistance for infrastructure and housing recovery in communities severely impacted by major disasters. It's not on the governor's desk. It's still making its way through. So
would we write the letter after it's made it to the governor's desk, or you want to do it before?
I would hope to do it before to push it through the legislature.
Okay. All thumbs up. Anything further? Okay, this takes us to reports and action items, parking management system update with project manager Wartelbohr.
Good evening. My name is Jay Wartelbohr. I'm the project manager in the engineering department tasked with transportation and traffic related programs and projects. Start off with the City of Eureka off-street parking program. Public parking in Old Town and downtown Eureka has seen little change over the past several decades. This lack of progress has led to ongoing issues with lot maintenance, inconsistent enforcement, and outdated regulations. The city has received feedback from business owners expressing concerns about long-term parking limits negatively impacting local businesses, as well as a lack of enforcement throughout both Old Town and our downtown parking districts. In late 2023, the Eureka City Council passed a resolution creating 2-hour short-term parking limits in the Old Town downtown districts to encourage on-street parking turnover, discouraging all-day occupancy, and eliminating unwanted cruising and congested vehicular traffic. In May 2024, an employee pilot parking program was implemented with the goal to improve efficiency and utilization of parking in our Old Town parking lots. And on this map, you can see our current metered and free parking lots at our locations. And 2 of these locations we have lost currently to development at the 8th and G lot, and then also at the L, or it's really the M and 6th Street lot. On this slide, we show our free parking in our new monitor lots. Our free parking lots will still remain up on the waterfront drive, and then we'll have 2 of the free lots across the street from the Adorney, and we are going to be offering now 12 new monitored lots. And the next phase will be to address our on-street parking as well, to include on-street metered parking, tick-marked parking spaces, time limits, and hours of operation in conjunction with the City of Eureka's Municipality Code 72.051. And this slide just goes over the establishment of our rates and times of 72-073, establishments of rates and time limits. The council by resolution hereby establishes a range of acceptable hourly paid parking rates for parking meter zones as no less than 50 cents and no more than $3 per hour, Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., except for holidays. Parking rate shall become effective upon the programming of the parking meter for that rate. The current schedule of meter rates shall be available on the city's fee schedule, which it is. This slide shows our previous and current rates. Our previous rates were at 15 cents an hour, and our current rates will be at $1.10 per hour with a transaction fee that Passport requires of 35 cents per transaction. Passport Parking is the application that we're going to be using. It's based out of Charlotte, North Carolina, and is utilized by more than 800 cities, universities, and agencies across North America. One of the agencies is local here at Cal Poly Humboldt, and they charge $1.50 per hour. Parking and online payment options are extremely easy. We will dedicate one of these signs per 15 spaces per lot. And so with the application, you download the Passport Parking app, you locate a Passport parking zone, which we highlighted in our metered lots, and then you enter the following information: your zone and vehicle space, length of stay, and payment information. And the Passport Parking app and payment options you can use by your phone for parking. You can extend your parking section. You can pay for metered parking. You can receive alerts before your meter expires, extend time, and view all your parking history. And Passport allows multiple payment methods. We can incorporate Visa, MasterCard, Discovery, and American Express. And additionally, we are in the process of setting up a cash pay option here at City Hall for prepaid or anybody who likes to pay for cash. And the parking enforcement monitoring, this is how it works. License plates are scanned for payment and permit status and then digitally chalked in zones with parking time limits. Located in the enforcement vehicle will be a scanner that scans the plates and notifies the officers of violations. Parking enforcement citation. Passport application provides the city enforcement officers a tool to create tickets or warnings with ease and efficiency. And with payment compliance, the benefits are you have QR codes that are printed out on tickets and letters, allowing offenders to find and pay citations digitally. Cashiering and on-site citation payments can be enabled to help support your operation, as discussed with City Hall, and a cash payment option. You can configure payment plans suitable to your customer needs and process payments through the Passport payment application. In the Passport Parking overview, Passport Parking software offers the city's Old Town and Downtown districts a powerful integrated solution to enhance parking management, increase revenue levels to adequately maintain city's infrastructure, reduce congestion, improve user experience through real-time data, and allow mobile payments and streamlined enforcement. And I thank you greatly and I appreciate your time and attention to this presentation. If you have any questions, I can answer them now, hopefully for you.
Questions? Councilmember Moulton?
Hi there. Thank you for that. Okay. So, just for clarification for everybody, we're talking about where are we talking about implementing this? Just where there are currently parking meters, or are we increasing the amount of paid parking in Old Town?
We are increasing the amount of paid parking in Old Town. We're going to be utilizing the meter lots that are existing and then incorporating new lots that are City of Eureka property or parking lots existing. that were
If
free.
you could you bring up that map again, Derek, that showed the second map that showed the red? Excuse me, IT guru Howard.
Yeah, these are the scheduled lots to be monitored.
So all the red will be monitored, all the blues will not be.
And what happens to the parking permit? Currently, we had a pilot program where folks could get a permit if they lived or worked in Old Town. Will these apply to the new metered lots?
Yes, they will be. They will be taken out of they will be added onto the list. So when when you apply, you'll register your license plate, and when they're scanned, they'll automatically be entered and then will not be flagged.
Remind me, what is the cost of that for someone who lives or works in Old Town?
Right now, it's $50.
A year.
A year. Thank you. Oh, sorry. And I say lives or works in Old Town. You don't have to, do you? Anybody can buy that. Is it true anybody can buy that permit?
No, for that you'll be either employee or a tenant in Old Town.
Oh, thank you. Okay. And then you said $1.50 per hour, a tenfold increase, but those 15 cents an hour rates are pretty old.
I think it's $1.30, correct?
It's $1.10.
It's $1.10. Where did I get it?
The $1.50
Okay.
was in conjunction with Cal Poly Humboldt, and that's their rates that they're
I
charging
see.
existing.
Details flying by. Is that plus the 30 cents per transaction?
That includes the 35 cent per transaction. So it's
Look, I wrote it down when you said it.
it is 75 cents. That is what is in our current fee schedule in our
Mhm.
municipal code. And then we have the 35-cent transaction fee for all transactions for Passport.
Okay, now I got it. Thank you. I understand.
Councilmember Fernandez?
Hold on, I have to get rid of all the questions that Councilmember Moulton asked for me. No. So you had talked about the signage going up and the potential for coming down here to pay for prepaid parking. So there's not going to be any sort of kiosks down in Old Town for this then? It's all going to be either through the app or prepaid?
Yes, there will be no kiosk.
Okay, so at least that helps with that then. And then I'm curious, what were our metrics for establishing going with this vendor? Who were the other vendors that we considered?
There was another vendor that we considered originally that was out of Canada. They were McKay Meters.
Mhm.
They were our metered what we currently have right now, and we were using an application called Passport, and it was not willing to grow, or it could not grow with our parking needs. So we went with Passport, which was highly recommended from Cal Poly Humboldt.
And where are they based out of?
Charlotte, North Carolina.
All right, at least we bought American. Thank you.
Councilmember Castellano?
Thank you. How long will the contract be with Passport?
36 months.
36 months. And then we'll review and see how it's working and decide whether to renew or extend or not.
Yes, I would see that we would determine if this was applicable for our downtown parking.
And I know it's been a little while since we've had kind of a robust conversation around parking planning, like holistic parking planning. And so I'm curious where we are with, and there in the past has been talk of paid street parking or just different, like a kind of more cohesive plan. And so I'm just curious where we are with that larger kind of planning effort.
Yes, after implementation of the off-street parking and determining how successful and efficient it is, we have the capability to use Passport to move it to on-street parking with the same software and platform.
Right. It's basically just be adding more signs, really.
Yes, and determining if we wanted to go to kiosks at that point or if we wanted to have a different type of monitoring system.
Okay. Okay. And when are we thinking that this is? I mean, it's coming soon, right? So when will we start to see this on the street or in the parking lots, I suppose?
We have a little bit of review to do on the contract to make sure that the city's best interests are covered.
Okay, so maybe like a few months or something like that.
That would be an accurate timeline.
Yeah, thanks. Okay, and so I would imagine a few months, like sometime maybe in the spring, we could kind of relook at how this is going, whether, what the kind of parking capacity is in the streets. Oh, here comes Director Willer.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we're thank you. We are working towards the first step of trying to implement it in the parking lots is, we're kind of changing technology. We're trying something new. It needs to happen. We're a little hesitant to jump right into the on-street stuff, given that we need to take care of our lots to get them straightened out, see how that's going, to make sure that that next phase is rolled out in a efficient way that is beneficial to the community. I do think that we want to be very quick on that turnover because all of a sudden you're going to see, hey, we have these increases in the cost of parking in the parking lots, and then we're going to have the free on-street parking. It's going to shift parking around the city. We understand that. It's kind of part of the process of this new change. So we're going to try to be quick about evaluating how it's going and implementing that next stage of moving it out onto the on-street parking. I think we will be coming back through TSC and City Council with that conversation. Our goal is to try to get this turned around, within this next year. That's, getting the parking lots taken care of and then implementing the on-street. So, going through that transition period, understanding how that's going, have the communication, the engagement with the Transportation Safety Commission, City Council, get that feedback, and then move into that next phase. A lot of this is based on the parking study that we did that council approved, and so we're kind of basing all these changes off of what was in that parking study and kind of rolling that out. But do understand that parking is a very interesting topic in the city of Eureka right now. I hear about it all the time, so it's certainly something we understand is very important and want to make sure that we make good decisions going forward here.
Great. Thank you. Councilmember Bauer?
I know what people are going to ask is, what is the additional revenue going to pay for? Well, first, that's one of the questions. And then my question is, how much do you think we anticipate in additional revenue, from this new parking structure?
Well, that'll be interesting to see how that plays out. How much use. We do have the employee parking permit, which I will clarify is for employees only. So that's if a business, they can have their employees, they can sign their employees up and pay the fee, $50 per year, and then they'll be able to utilize the parking lot. So we saw a lot of utilization through that program, and so I'm guessing that's going to continue to be the case. So there'll be part of the occupancy will be that. I think it'll be interesting to see how that unfolds. How full are the lots? How much are they getting utilized? The money goes to really deferred maintenance, as you can tell, going from 15 cents an hour for years and years and years. It wasn't that program was not. It wasn't making money. We'll just say that it was probably deferred a lot of maintenance as far as the parking lots, the paving there, the signage, what the parking lots are. I mean, you can see they haven't changed a lot in a long time. I can't even imagine how long. So that'll be going to upkeep and maintenance and keeping our program operating so that we can have good enforcement, which will help across all of Old Town downtown, where we will see, you know, like once we have the on street happening, hopefully that'll even things out and it'll kind of come to an equilibrium across that area.
And I will say that, you know, we went for a long period of time without any, we did it with a temporary employee as far as enforcement was concerned for a very long period of time. And then we went for a short period of time of not having any enforcement. And then I think it was 2 years ago that we hired on and moved it into code enforcement and have a full-time employee doing that. So it will cover the cost of that employee as well as the deferred maintenance that we have on a lot of our lots. And it doesn't just include those lots that are metered. We use those funds for, you know, Fuente del Norte. We use the funds for other parking lots that we own throughout the city, whether they are the Adorney, the Wharfinger parking, you know, parks and playground parking lots, those type of things.
Thank you.
Councilmember Contreras Deloach.
I'm sorry if this was already answered earlier. I know we're not making any kind of profit. I'm just curious, based on the cost of like how much it is to maintain them and how much it is for the app, plus, you know, hiring somebody to do parking enforcement, like what would the parking need to be, I'm guessing, for us just to like break even? Because I'm thinking $1.15 isn't doing it, or $1.50 or $1.35. I'm not sure.
Until we get the numbers, we won't really know. I mean, in the past, we never made enough money to cover maintenance, and so we were nowhere near, you know, being at even a balance. We were supplementing it with other funds in order to do slurry seals on other parking lots and those type of things. Ideally, when it's all up and running, it will fully fund, and all of that money will stay in that account, and it will go towards those parking lots. So if there is a surplus in maintenance, maybe it's used for improvements. It could potentially, if it gets to a certain point, look into some reserve fund potentially for a parking garage or something like that if we get to the point and the need to have that, but it would go towards parking.
Yeah, thanks. I was just curious because I know, you know, when I travel, the parking is substantially more than, you know, a little over $1. And so that's kind of why I was curious. But thank you guys all.
I have a question about public education. So is there a plan to roll this out so that the public is aware that it's happening and that the changes and that it's going to be an app, or that you have to come to the city, or all those things?
Currently, we've gone, we went to the Traffic Safety Commission before this. We've come here now, try to present the information in the public setting. We have information up on our website, but we can certainly do some other maybe physical outreach in the areas of the parking lots to let people know that there'll be some changes coming.
And we'll incorporate that into press releases and notify folks via that. And then also, I'm sure we'll meet with the Henderson Center Marketing Association, Eureka Main Street, to let the business community know about it as well.
Just don't want to hit him with that. Councilmember Castellano?
I'm sure the folks at Eureka Main Street would love to have you at a meeting sometime.
And Jay, do you want to?
By both of you, either. Yeah.
Can you? I think, and the hope is too that the lots we'll be able to manage. One benefit of this program is that we'll be able to manage lots around special events. You know, if there's a farmer's market or a Friday night market, we can manage the parking lots so that, you know, if we choose to have those be, you know, to not pay during those periods of time, if we want those to be open for use during those special events, then that can be adjusted pretty easily through the program.
Okay.
I'd recommend we charge double. Just joking.
Thank you. Is there anything further? Thanks for that report. We appreciate you. Okay. Future agenda items. Seeing none, city managers' reports.
Thank you, Mayor, and good evening, Mayor, Council. Before we have Director Folger come up and talk about his wonderful Bay City Leadership Academy, I do want to recognize all of the staff and community members that made Dias Park a reality. I can assure you the next time that we do this, I will be the egret and Leslie can be the crab for an hour and a half, and we'll switch spots. So tonight we have Director Folger up here. and he is going to talk about our Bay Cities Leadership Academy. I believe we're in our 4th year of the program, and he'll go over the success it's been and how it's been expanding.
I'm the Homeless Services Supervisor,
Project Manager,
Finance Department,
Environmental Services, City Manager's Office,
I'm the Utilities Superintendent from the City of Eureka.
City of Arcata,
Human Resources Director and City Clerk for the City of Fortuna.
My name's John Omi. I'm a police sergeant with the Eureka Police Department. I'm a recent graduate of the BCLA. Honestly, going into it, I was a bit skeptical. I've been to quite a few leadership courses. I was kind of wondering what I can actually take away from another leadership course. I was very surprised. It definitely gave me a different perspective.
The Bay Cities Leadership Academy has been a really great program to get to know other staff in the local cities and public agencies around Humboldt County.
BCLA has been pretty great for me. I was working at the police department for the City of Eureka. Since graduating cohort 1, I have transitioned to the engineering department. So I've been able to use a lot of the tools that I learned during the BCLA to help me grow in my career and in my position.
One of the learnings that I really benefited from is this idea of courageous conversations and having difficult conversations and recognizing that the things that are necessary aren't always easy, and so being prepared in how you approach those conversations can make a big difference.
A real big thing I've tried to employ is how I have meetings with my employees and try to engage their ideas, share those things with my managers, just have a much more open dialogue.
Having a focused leadership academy that pairs with my work at the city has helped to integrate the practices that I learned in BCLA into the work that I do on a day-to-day basis, rather than having this like segmented leadership training in some other world.
This experience has been profound in a lot of ways. Deep learning experiences, but also like deep introspection has been amazing for not only my work life, but just personal relationships also.
BCLA has been a roller coaster of information, with getting to understand who my coworkers are and also understanding the capacity of leadership that each individual has. Even though we're in such diverse positions, we really got to understand how to be vulnerable with each other. This experience showed me that being vulnerable is a part of being a leader.
One thing that they really highlight is that you can lead from a place of your own strength and build a team around you that can complement your strengths.
Something that I learned was that a lot of the skills that I have and I thought weren't great leadership qualities actually really can be. It's more about being empathetic and genuine and honest. And so that was really positive for me to hear that, because it's like, okay, I do that. It gave me a little bit more confidence.
You might see someone in a position like a city manager or something, and you think, oh, they have everything together. And then you get in a situation like the academy where, you know, people are more authentic. They kind of let you know that I was just winging it and it worked. And it's like, wow, sometimes I do that too.
It's always been like an uphill, very solitary climb. And so I just want to be able to help people on that climb, you know, so they're not doing it alone.
There are people at different levels of management in their agencies. We all are navigating some of the same challenges. It provides that platform to share and exchange information and ideas, and that's a really powerful tool, especially in Humboldt County.
All right.
Some of the same challenges. It provides that platform to share
Okay.
and exchange information and ideas, and that's a really powerful tool.
I'm just letting Derek man the wheel here. Thanks for your patience with this. It was tough kind of getting all that pieced together, but that video was put together based on the input that we got from participants in the previous cohort and participants of cohort 1 and cohort 2 as well. And we wanted to just put something together that we could easily share with people that we want to brag about the BCLA to. So congratulations, that's you guys today. as you guys know, I'm Will Folger. I'm the HR director, and we've been doing this BCLA for going on 4 years now, and this is the first time that we've ever really put together any media or presentation material to share it with you guys, so I'm pleased to be here. I'll try to make the rest of this quick. So a quick overview, the Bay Cities Leadership Academy is a training program, leadership training program for current and emerging municipal leaders. It's all specifically designed to serve cities in our area and to support leadership development in local government in the greater Humboldt Bay region and to build connectivity between municipal agencies. So what started out as a discussion kind of between myself and Karen Deemer, who at the time was the city manager of the city of Arcata, we had shared an interest in providing local professional development opportunities for staff. When we send people to leadership trainings or any other kind of development opportunities, it's usually out of the area. It can be quite costly with hotels and travel and all that sort of stuff. And we, unlike our other cohorts in the bigger metropolitan areas, we just don't have those resources as robustly here as they do. So we began the process of trying to develop something that we could roll out that would be easy, accessible, well tailored to our needs, and cheap. And so that's how we ended up partnering with Roger and Mary, who I'm sure you guys all know, Roger James and Mary Jelinas, who are formerly from the Cascadia Leadership Academy that was run through the Humboldt Area Foundation for a while. So what we did is took that concept of Cascadia, working with them, and adapted it for our purposes in local government. The first year, our pilot year, 2022, we had quite a few directors here at the city and executive leaders between the cities of Arcata and just the city of Eureka. It just was those two entities. And we really tried to tailor that Cascadia information to suit our needs. We learned a lot. And so in 2023, we did it again. We also got a lot of really good feedback, so we continued doing it. 2023, we did it again, refined it considerably. And then last year, we finalized the core structure, which ended up being that Mary and Robert wanted to retire, so they donated their intellectual property to the city of Eureka so we could keep carrying this on. Which is just wonderful of them. We have, however, brought in, it's quite different now. We've brought in a lot of other professionals, and we've completely restructured the way that we roll the information out, yet we still lean very heavily on their expertise. So the way that the program has evolved has been based on feedback from past participants. We could do a comprehensive evaluation every time we've done the program and midway through. And last year's model, the 2024 model, was validated as the standard that we're going to use moving forward. It was designed to help further reduce costs, i.e. in putting me and Karen in as the lead facilitators, certainly not the lead experts. We bring in outside experts for each that have expertise related to the theme of whatever that day's session is going to be about. But her and I kind of acted as the through line between each session, helping the participants engage with the material, practice, and facilitate more of the discussive pieces that we didn't necessarily require an outside expert to do. So it helped us reduce those costs there. We also went ahead and expanded the program to include entities other than the cities of Arcata and Eureka. The core program goals, as we see it, and particularly for now the city of Eureka being the lead entity on this, is sustainability, relevancy, functionality, and community. So sustainability, meaning that it's accessible, it's easy for us to get people to, and it's cost effective. How relevancy is about how closely can we tie the leadership concepts to the work that people are doing. Functionality is how many practical tools we're actually deriving from the training. I don't know if you guys have been to many leadership trainings. Often it's just you get a lot of interesting discussion and exploring it intellectually, but not a lot of like functional tools to take home. And then, of course, building community and strengthening regional professional networks. So for this year, we're starting cohort 4, and that will include the cities of Arcata and Eureka, and Fortuna, Ferndale, Blue Lake, Trinidad, and Rio Dell, essentially all of the cities that belong to our CIRA JPA. We've also expanded it to include the following JPAs and special districts. We have RCEA, HBF, both of whom joined us last year, McKinleyville Community Services District, Humboldt Transit Authority, and Arcata Fire District will be with us this year. Arcata Fire was with us last year as well. So a few more entities that we're bringing on board. And CIRA has been a great partner with us in rolling this out, letting people know about it. They've highlighted it at the big meeting earlier this year, and have accepted this program as to be eligible for grant reimbursement through CIRA. So smaller entities in particular can seek reimbursement from CIRA for sending their people to attend the academy, and that's huge. So this academy is 8 full-day sessions across 8 months. We have lead facilitators, guest presenters, and alumni contributors all sort of being a part of that program. There's going to be a mix of instruction, interactive exercises, and peer learning, focusing on the expertise that is, of course, already in the room. A lot of these concepts are not new to people. We've had difficult conversations. Lots of the folks in the room have been leaders for many years. We really platform those the participants as well. And then an emphasis on real-world applicability, self-awareness, pushing boundaries, and truly practicing strategies for developing leadership skills. The program, as it is now, we charge each entity. The city of Eureka hosts a lot of this. We expend staff time. We utilize our facilities. We're centrally located for many of the other participating agencies, so it's easy for us to do this. Miles and Pam and all of you have granted me the ability to kind of focus some of my energies on this. So it's with that we're able to, again, keep the costs relatively low. And so what we charge the other agencies to participate is $1,400 a head. When you compare that to other similar programs like this that are this long, that much instruction, we're looking at, on the low end, $2,500. And on the high end, over $10,000. And it's usually somewhere in the middle just for the program itself, not including ancillary costs of travel and stuff like that. So that's a huge success that we're able to keep the program accessible to people in that way. So here's a session breakdown for what the program looks like now. We start out with establishing our ground rules, focusing on individual goals, group cohesion, setting up the stage for a collaborative learning environment for professionals, adults. That's part of the first day, but these are essentially 4 sections wrap in all of these elements. So with the overview, introductions, participants' goals, exploring mindsets, self-assessment, leadership styles, emotional intelligence, philosophy, the basics, brain basics, neurology, recognizing your reactions, and learning how to be a better listener. Difficult conversations, focusing on how you can manage yourself when you're having to give feedback, and how to avoid emotional hijacking. That is just an incredibly, incredibly surface scratch look at the sort of subjects that we cover, but there is a lot of depth in each of these. So that's the first 4 sessions, and they fall under what we're kind of calling the personal or introspective domain. And then the next 4 sessions are in more of a group setting. So developing of teams, eliminating barriers to cooperation, planning and facilitating effective meetings. That's huge with a lot of municipal workers, and collaborative governance and organizational interconnection, and then basically public speaking, message delivery and awareness, and how to speak with conviction. So the unique elements of the BCLA is how we emphasize this introspection, your self-awareness, and how to control your reaction to things, and getting comfortable with things that are uncomfortable, so that people are empowered to make difficult decisions, and leaning into practice, of course. Dynamic instruction, again, it's not just us. It's not just the same instructors every time. There's a lot of different instruction. Each day we'll have a dedicated professional who will be with us for either the whole or part of the day. We have alumni contributors. We have local leader interviews. And of course, then there's myself and Karen, who try to draw out as much as we can and expertise from the group. Here's just a quick picture of some of the folks who will be working with this year. Of course, some of you recognize Burkay Brown and Mary. This lady here, my goodness, I can't believe I forgot her name, but she's with Portland State University. And the National Policy Consensus Center, she'll be coming out with us too. And there will be other speakers as well. We emphasize connection over content. The content is a vehicle to create connection in a lot of ways, and sometimes it's just having those strong bonds and connection with people who know and you can gain information from and get validation from and support in being a leader that helps people just simply get in the brain space to do what's needed. So we really try to emphasize that piece of the puzzle. And then focusing on collective learning, embracing the expertise of each participant, and then strengthening the cross-collaboration of our local agencies. We really emphasize a lot on practice as well. So real-time application and scenario-based learning, toolkits, and what I like to say is discomfort by design and curated chaos. Things that are designed to trigger your reactions, make you deal with them in an environment that's safe for you to experience them, analyze them, and then utilize those tools better. So some of the things we do are intentionally awkward because oftentimes leaders are faced with quite awkward, uncomfortable, or unsettling situations. We don't do anything awful, but we do try to find ways to kind of enforce the issues to kind of make you feel how you might in a real scenario. So a little bit of awkwardness goes a long way. We also really try to keep the alumni engaged in this program. That's not just because we really like them and want to see them. It's because they demand it. That's like the feedback that we get every time we do this program is how much people want to still stay connected, how much they want it to continue, and what can I do? How can I be of service? How may I help? And so it's just a massive resource. And so particularly in the last year, we've been able to find ways to further engage alumni, not just in support of the main cohort, but also in advanced trainings for them as a group, the alumni network. Okay, so looking ahead, this of course has demonstrated a lot of successes and positive impacts for employees of our organization and definitely at the other organizations that have been a part of the program. We have lots of examples of growth on an organizational and regional level, and the BCLA Connects is a social network that is being developed by the alumni on their own. Very interesting. And we, of course, have advanced trainings for them as well. And we're continuing to expand the capacity and the member agencies who participate. So hopefully that wasn't too much, just a quick glance at what this program looks like. And I'm happy to take any questions you might have.
Questions? Councilmember Bauer?
Thank you, Director Folger. I don't really have any questions. I just want to say I really like that you're bringing all the local entities together, the cities, JPAs, and everything. I think it's critical for our community to have that kind of collaboration and get to know each other. So I want to thank you for doing that, and thanks, Mary and Roger and Burkay, and I'm sure you guys are doing a great job at kind of bringing up new leadership, and successional planning, I hope, is a big part of that. That you're focusing on when some of us retire, that there'll be people to take their place, is that something that's kind of, I didn't really see successional planning. Was that kind of some thought behind that?
That's more of like an organization by organization, I think, discussion, but absolutely it drives that discussion. People learning from each other when they're not working together, but doing similar work, or we really try to mix it up and put people with folks who they're not going to necessarily identify with on a professional level, but where they're on a leadership level. And as people come away, they learn a lot more about their coworkers, their peers, within the organization and outside. It definitely spurs those conversations, certainly. You saw in the video, one of our employees, Brittany Powell, who I'm sure all of you know, we caught that snippet of her speaking about the progression of her career and her transition into a management role. And she credited parts of what she experienced in the BCLA with that. And I think that captures the experience of many people, particularly those in the middle and rising up in the organization. So though it's not a part of the training itself, it's definitely an aspect of the BCLA ethos overall.
Thank you. It's awesome.
Councilmember Moulton.
Thank you so much for bringing that and showing us. I hope you get to brag about this in lots of other contexts. I've been doing training of youth mentors for a really long time, and I see a lot of similarities in the points that you're hitting. But I'm curious, what's the thing with the noodle? Yeah. Tell us what's happening there.
That's the helium pole. That's the helium pole, and it is a test of communication. And we don't give any instruction, but everyone has to hold their fingers out like this, and everyone has to be touching the pole all at one time across from each other and with just your fingers. And then both fingers have to be touching the pole. And if you can imagine, 12 people, 15 people around this pole and everyone kind of trying to touch it, it rises up. And the goal is to try to get it to rest it on the ground. Can you do that as a group? I won't give you any hints as to how. It's incredibly hard and very, very frustrating. Talk about curated chaos and discomfort by design. That's exactly what that kind of activity is intended to do.
Neat.
Anything
Thank you.
further? Thank you, Will Folger.
Thank you.
And with that, we are adjourned.